CPAC México with the president of Mis amigos migrantes, pues aquí estoy. Total catastrophe, and it is a crisis. Of a child, right there. All these NGOs, you're fake. It is this, the crisis of children. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. It is a pleasure to be with you guys this morning. The reason that I'm doing this video, it is to say a couple of things that I am clearly touched by the current situation, which is exacerbated and it is growing massively in the parts of Eagle Pass, Texas, and where our colleague and friend Auden Cabello has been reporting, unstoppable every day. And also he has been reporting in the parts of Piedras Negras how migrants have been crossing irregularly through non-ports of entry into the United States of America. The reason that I'm doing this video is just I'm going to show you two clips. One of the clips is talking about the flag situation that just recently happened in Eagle Pass in Piedras Negras, which migrants put a flag in Texas territory in the United States of America. And clearly that is, in the eyes of the military of the United States, that is an act of some of them they consider. I'm not considering it. This is not my opinion. This is opinions of somebody else. For all the people that are listening, in the eyes of a lot of people, that is a perception of war. It's difficult to understand the situations which they are exacerbated and they're growing. This comes with all these open border policies, this disaster of migration that that they just created. And also migrants are losing their lives. Migrants are risking their lives. Migrants are coming fast forwarding from all parts of the world. And, the attitude that has been created has been so much animosity between entities that, it's all difficult to understand. I have always been a humanitarian before I am a journalist. And I'm always a journalist in a lot of cases before I am a humanitarian. I would like to explain a little bit of this video that I'm about to show. When we went this last time to the Darien Gap, when you go to college in journalism, they tell you about, always being objective and, and not carrying to one side to another. That's why a lot of people from the right wing that they follow me, they get mad sometimes because I don't agree with certain, aspects of their opinion. And it is okay. It's called freedom of speech. It's called freedom of thought. And God gave us that right for us to be free when we are born and for us to die. He's the one that takes away our freedom. But ultimately, it is my thoughts. It is my freedom to say. And this time when we were at the Darien, my brother Ben Berquam and myself, which for people to understand, we don't agree on a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that I love him. And he's my brother. And I'm always going to be there for whatever he needs. And in terms to, I don't agree with some of the perceptions that he has, but that is his freedom also, to freedom of thought. But I respect him a lot. That's my brother. But moving on to the topic. As I was in the Darien, we saw a lot of children and we saw a lot of mothers walking in the rain, walking in the river, walking in the current, walking in certain situations that why are you putting your child through this? Why are you doing this through your child? Why are you doing it? And the one that is benefiting out of all of this are these globalists, are these organizations like the United Nations and all these organizations that they're profiting out of human misery and human suffering, but also the cartels, the organized crime, as we have said repeatedly. But this is regardless of the situation in which it plans out. The one responsible for all of this are these globalists and also the countries that they're taking the decision to open the border and to let this continue. I don't understand when it is going to be enough. How many people they need to die for these globalists to understand uh to understand that this is not working? How many migrants they need to be abused? How many migrants they need to be robbed? How many migrants they need to be extortion? Is this the route of migration in 2023 in this new world? These leftists, I encountered one leftist that had a peanut of a brain and saying that George Soros is a philanthropist. For God's sake, can you tell your man George Soros to go to the Darien and see if that is a philanthropy, what he's doing over there? I just want to know how much of an incompetence have you do you have in a brain to call George Soros a philanthropist? How damaged are you and how arrogant and prepotent are you that you want to call George Soros a philanthropist? I want to show you a video. This video that I'm about to show you, it clearly opens up a topic, and it is only a 20-second video, 20-second fraction video. I recorded this video inside of the Darien Gap. And why I recorded this fraction of a video because let me just describe and give you a parameter of what happened on this video. I'm gonna just return it. As you see, there's migrants, there's kids right here. Let me just put myself on a better screen right here. Let me just right here, right there. Let me just describe you this. And why am I putting this video? Before I go on, if you can give it a like to this video and share this video, uh, it will be great. Me gusta mucho seguirte, pero no entiendo. Por favor, también en español. Gracias. Estoy haciendo un video en inglés. Soy un reportero bilingüe. Te mando un abrazo, Keta. Y voy a hablar un poquito de la situación como... let me just explain this in Spanish real quick. Please be patient. Voy a hablar cómo estas políticas de los Estados Unidos inhumanas, migratorias, están causando que migrantes pierdan la vida. So, this video that I recorded, it's a 20 fraction video. It's a 20-second fraction video. And this basically explains in a nutshell what Joe Biden, what Alejandro Mayorkas have created. We have seen it multiple times. This time that I was in the Darien, sadly, we saw dead bodies. We saw migrants that they were in a decomposed, situation. The bodies were decomposed. We saw multiple children suffering through the currents of the river, currents of the water. But you ask yourself, why are these parents putting these people through this? And it is because of the current administration of the United States of America, that they have said to the world, it is okay to migrate through the Darien Gap. Continue. Punish yourself. Punish your children. Go through this treacherous journey, this horrible nightmare. Still continue. And don't matter how much you go through. When you get to the United States, we're here. And then sometimes you get deported, you get returned back. They make you wait. So it's such a punishment for humanity. What I'm saying is that I know that a lot of people are going to say, I don't care. We don't want them. I don't care. It's close the border. I don't care. I understand your perceptions. For all those people that they're going to start commentating, oh, I don't care. Look forward. Look past that. Look what they're doing to humanity. This is what they're doing to humanity itself. This is the migration that these elitists and these globalists and Alejandro Mayorkas and the Biden administration and the hyena of Kamala Harris and all of these people, Alexandria Ocasio, all of these people do not care about human life. They do not. If they cared, all of the times that Alejandro Mayorkas has been in the Darien Gap, he would have walked through where Ben Bear Kwame and I have walked. Bajo Chiquito, Lajas Blancas, the Darien. He would have put himself not in harm's way because he's the Department of Homeland Security chief, but he would have said, I want to go to where this is happening. This is in the middle of the Darien Gap. And this is a moment that I captured. You will see one parent, one child, another parent, another child, one parent, two kids, another child, another parent. How many kids do you see on this little clips of video? This is just a clips of video that I got when we were just crossing a dangerous river. You will see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. 7 kids. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. You will see 6 kids on this video. They just crossed a dangerous and treacherous river. Horrible river. I crossed it. This man right here on top that is carrying a tarp, that he has a gray shirt. It is the husband of the woman that is crying on the bottom. He's crying with his wife. Let me just play you this video so you will understand why a lot of people say, Oscar, you're so compassionate. Oscar, you're becoming soft. Oscar, this. No. You have never been to where we have been until you see it and you feel it. You understand, like, why are these globalists playing with human life like this? Why have these policies that they're destroying human life, this United Nations Global Compact on Migration? I would love to see the United Nations in there, outside of the Darien before they enter and they put themselves through this. They do not do that. In the meantime, these open border policies have caused this suffering. And all of these globalists, that they are opening up the borders and continue with this, for them it's about money, business, control, and weaponizing the migration. Meanwhile, the ones that they're suffering are the children, are the migrants themselves. They are the bait. The shark are the globalists. The bait, it is the migrants. See this video. Look at this. Do you think this is nice? Do you think this is normal? A mother crying in the middle of the jungle. And I know I'm not pandering. I'm not victimizing the migrants. It's a complete irresponsibility to put a child like this. I understand that. We don't know what she has gone through to put her child and to take the decision to put her child through that. I understand that, what you guys are going to say. But the thing that I want to explain is what these open border policies have done. You will see adults using children in front of barricades to open up a barricade of a National Guard in the Caribbean. I have seen it. I have recorded it. Look at this. Do you think this is fair for a parent to go through this? Why the globalists? Why the elitists? Why the United Nations have not put it? They know about this. For God's sake, they know. They know about this. They know that they're causing harm. They know that a lot of these children are suffering. They know that a lot of these parents are suffering. They know that a lot of these people are dying in the jungle. They know. They know. And they're like, oh, yeah, Joe Biden creating jobs. I can tell you how many jobs he has created in South America with the organized crime. He has hope in the human market. Those are the ones that they're benefiting out of this. Those are the ones that they're making millions out of this. This is not human. This, when I was standing there, this is one of the moments that you almost wanted to cry, man. And you just, you feel, I cannot do anything because I'm a journalist. I'm there to document. But at the same time, this is the problem. This is the problem. There's a comment right here that says, Oscar, on the flip side, there's no flip side. There's no one side and another. There's only one side, just for you to understand. The globalists, the Biden administration, and the people in their government, that they are not informing what they're going through. There's no flip side. People are choosing to come here and make this a dangerous trip. Are their leaders informing them of the risk? I just responded to you. There's no flip side of this. They know what they're doing. And I'm showing this continuously so you can understand how sad this is. This completely broke my heart in the middle of the jungle. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Why? This cannot be the way of a migrant. What we're seeing right now in the whole continent of America, this started in Europe, but what we're seeing right now in the continent of America, it is the destruction of the word migration. It is the destruction of the word migrant. Why? Because the globalists and the elitists are completely changing the perspective and the understanding of what a migrant is, of what a migrant represents, of what a migrant, their purpose is too. For the globalists and for the elitists and for these people in government, a migrant, in their own perception, it is a person that is in poverty, that has to walk thousands of miles, that has to go through treacherous journeys, that has to go to life and death situations, and that also has to cross irregularly through every border and be extortion and be kidnapped. And also a migrant that is not educated to know the migration laws. For these globalists, for these elitists, for these people that they're holding this spider web on top of this global compact on migration and migration issue, for them, this is a migrant. For us, that we know what a migrant is a person that is coming to work, that is looking for a better economy, that is looking for a better life, that is looking for a better opportunity. A migrant is the one that comes into the front door. A lot of them, they go through another door because they don't have, out of desperation, they jump and they cross and they make a living. And then later on, they do this and they do that. But for us, we know the understanding of the word migrant. For these globalists, for the Biden administration, and for Mayorkas and all these people, migration for them is this: human suffering. It's not fixing the problem. It's creating chaos and suffering so they can fund and they can continue and continue and continue and continue. And not only that, the political president of Colombia, instead of fixing the problem in Venezuela, and instead of fixing the problem in his own borders, in Colombia, he addressed the situation and said, oh, this is about the criminal sanctions of the United States to Venezuela. If that will be fixed, why make it political? This is about human life. That is when you understand that they're weaponizing the migration. They're weaponizing the migration. They're using human life. Children crying in the middle of the jungle. This is the part that I remember clearly, that I did not record because I had to look away, but you can listen to your children saying, "Why, mom? Why am I here? Why am I still here? Why are we still on this situation? Why are we crossing this river? Where are we going?" This is when you understand that this situation, it is continuous and continuous because for these globalists, it is a business and it is a way to control governments and borders. At the meantime, in my own perception, these leftists, oh my God, he's creating hysteria. Oh my God, he's fear mongering. Oh my God, he's such a conspiracy theorist. He's a white supremacist. He's a Trumper. That's what they say when you don't follow their perception, right? I've been 25 years living in Tijuana and I've never seen, get the hell out of here. This is a reality. There's people continuously being abused and dying in a jungle, where is the epicenter of the migration. And in the meantime, they're destroying the purpose of what a migrant is. I have seen people, migrants, that they have come in, waited for the longest of time, and they created a future in the United States of America. Nobody puts attention to those migrants. Those are the ones that they need to educate on how they did it and how they accomplished to go to the United States. Now you will see people crossing on a barbed wire in Eagle Pass in Piedras Negras, Coahuila, risking their lives. I saw a video of a migrant trapped in a barbed wire. And he said, I don't care if you return me back. I don't care if you let me in. Just give me some water. It's just like you're seeing this in front of your eyes, and you're like, the number one perception of a lot of them is like, we don't want them, get back. We don't want them, get back. And other people are like, give them the opportunity. In my own perception, in my mind, you know what I'm thinking? I'm not even thinking the way we don't want. I don't know. That's not even coming to my mind. I'm not even thinking, give them the opportunity. No, I'm not even thinking that. What I'm thinking is like, how in the hell we got to this point that a migrant has to cross through a barbed wire and has to put himself through this punishment and cross irregular to another side to say, let me see if I can get in. Or there's a comment right here, and I'm going to address it. Please don't put yourself in a situation to help them. I'm a human. I'm a human being. I don't know if you are. I have two arms. I have two hands. I have two legs. I have a brain, which sometimes functions and sometimes not. I have a mouth. I have two eyes. I have a thing that is called heart. I don't know if you have it or not, but I have it. And I want to tell you something. If you were a journalist and if you were reporting right now when your homeless veterans are sitting down, I will tell you exactly the same thing. Hey, just do your job, man. Why are you just helping? Why are you helping? And when you say a comment, there's no excuse for journalists. Imagine how irresponsible it will be on my own behalf, not being a human being, seeing a child suffer through a river or record the situation or not do anything, just stand there and be like, hey, it's your responsibility. You put yourself through this, man. It is a constitution in your body. You're that. You're that person. You're that. What I'm referencing to, it is how these policies that they were created to be humanitarian, they're completely the opposite. Completely the opposite of what is actually happening. Completely the opposite. Completely. And it is sad that we're standing right now, seeing how every border is being overrun, seeing how every border is being saturated, seeing how small countries are standing up to put an example to the United States. You know, Panama, it's a small country. And they stood up in front of the United Nations and they said, what is happening in our country, it is completely inhumane. We need to find a way to correct this problem and to find a humane way. This is not the way. A small country like Panama stood in front of these globalist cowards and put an example for the United States. That gives you an idea that there's people that they want to fix this. That there's countries that they're standing up to the plate and saying, we have the courage to fix this. El Salvador fixed their own problems. Do you have a problem in El Salvador from people migrating massively? No. Why? They have a great president, the best president in the world. Can it be fixed? Yes, it can be fixed. What I'm showing right here in this video, it is for people to understand what a small 20-second fraction of video can represent and how big this is. I'm not victimizing. I'm not pandering. I'm not romanticizing. Stop with that crap. I'm just showing you where these policies have gotten and how these policies had gotten into. Where these policies, how far they have gotten. And this is how far. People dying, children suffering. And a lot of people are going to say it's the responsibility of the parent. Yes, I know it is the responsibility of the parent. Everybody knows that. But when you get incentivized and they tell them, hey, it's a walk in the park. It's easy, just come. The one that is growing is the cartel, is the organized crime, just pandering to this information to the world that it's okay, it's gone. This is one side of the story that I wanted to bring in. The other side of the story, this is what happened in Texas. Now, I was having a live feed, a video in TikTok with the Spanish audience. And I was explaining this. Now, you will have this kind of, and this is, I'm actually going to predict. Somebody saying right here, Mexico's weak and run by cartels. That has to be fixed too. Obrador not doing right either. He's a socialist. How's your country doing, by the way, before you point the finger to our country of Mexico? How is your country doing, by the way? The number one buyer of fentanyl. The number one distributor of fentanyl. The number one in with addiction of fentanyl. I'm not putting down the United States of America. I'm just saying, you're telling me that it's weak. I just want to know how your country's doing with the border situation right now. With the trafficking situation, the number one buyer of pedophilia, the number one buyer of child trafficking. How's your country doing right now in economy? How's your country doing right now in inflation? How's New York doing, by the way? Before you point the finger to other sides. I'm just telling you. I'm just asking. So this is what happened in Texas. I'm going to read an article of the Freedom Post. This is a Freedom Post. That particularly, the Freedom Post. It is a platform of a Venezuelan journalist, two Venezuelan journalists that I completely admire and that I support. These two Venezuelan journalists have been, so one of them lives in Mexico, the other one lives legally in the United States of America. And this is what happened in the parts of Texas. I'm going to try to translate and give you guys a glimpse of what happened in the territory of Texas. This is the part of Texas. So you will see a couple of water vehicles. I don't know how they are supposed to be named. These Can somebody just name me what is this kind of a artifact uh that is on the right hand side? I don't even know what it's named. But this is the I'm gonna try to translate and and give you guys an information. It says a group of Venezuelans, migrants, that they were intending to cross into the United States. They wanted to take a part of the island in the Rio Grande River. That is the international crossing between Eagle Pass, Texas. The bodies of security of the country of the United States actioned immediately to avoid more problems. The video was published on the 25th of September by Chris Olivares, representative of the Department of Security of South Texas. In the clip, you can observe a flag that is practically put in the island, and the units of control rapidly arrived to the place. And hundreds of migrants, the majority of entity of Venezuela, they're stranded in the parts of Nuevo León, north of Mexico, after the company of the railroads of Mexico has said that they're stopping the trains due to the increase of migrants of migrants arriving into the borders of the United States. So this flag right here, it looks like the flag of Venezuela, but it's the flag of Colombia. The flag of Venezuela has stars in the middle, but this looks like the flag of Colombia. So I will basically, I will basically explain, and it is the flag of Colombia. But I will explain what do I think about this. Uh, it's somebody saying right here. Thank you so much. That vessel, it is called airboat. Okay, thank you so much. These craps. Thought that you were gonna say something more out of line. Give it a like to this video, share this video, buy me a copy. It's on the link. If you guys like to contribute to our independent reporting and travel fund, you guys can support me right there. So thank you so much. We're going to be traveling soon. I don't know when, but I'm going to be traveling soon. If you guys know, when I say I'm traveling, I'm traveling. So this is what happened. So you can see on the video that actually, the flag was taken down, and authorities from South Texas, they arrived and they removed the flag. And some migrants try to put the flag in terms to say, you know, this is what the understanding is, and what a lot of people are saying is like, we are going to just put this flag on this piece of land, and from here make a statement that this piece of land, we're going to start, coming over here. I don't know if that is, I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not creating hysteria like this people say. Of course, there's some migrants that they come with bad intentions. There are some would come with good intentions. And let me just tell you how it is. There's a percentage that they're coming with really bad intentions, that they have this communist warrior ideology, and ultimately also they come with this guerrillero ideology, the socialist ideology. And there's some that they just want an opportunity just to work. I asked this continuous question when I was in the Darien Gap to migrants. What do you think of Venezuelan migrants? What do you think about the migrants in New York, that they're causing problems and they're ultimately causing violence, and they're doing all these kind of things, and they're creating a bad image for the people that they want to come in and work legally? All of them. Every single migrant from Venezuela that I asked this question, they said, return them back to Venezuela. All of them. Every single one. Every single one, they said, they're causing a bad image to us. They are causing problems to us. And it is because of them that they're going to close the door to us. So return them back. And why the Biden administration it is not doing that? Even the migrants themselves, they have said, and I have documented this, the migrants themselves in caravans, they said, I just came out of Venezuela, or came out of Haiti, came out of Ecuador, came out of Colombia, running away from this, and I came to find it, and I come to find it in Mexico. What is going on? So even the migrants themselves, they say the ones that they're causing problems, creating violence, return them back, not like AOC that completely starts. No, they're causing violence and they're causing problems because they don't have no jobs and they don't have no opportunities. So what we need to do is create jobs and opportunities for them to not create Well, what the hell is going on? How stupid are you? Really? Everybody deserves an opportunity in life. Yes, everybody deserves an opportunity in life. But when you're starting and you're coming into the greatest country that exists in the world, that is the United States of America, and the first thing that you're doing, it is causing problems. What do you expect that is going to be in the far future? So you are going to prefer a person that is causing problems that a family that is coming in and saying, hey, I want to do it legally. I want to do it this. I want to do it this way. I want to come into this way. So you're preferring that instead of that. The priorities of the Biden administration are completely, holy moly. And this comes to say to all of you guys that this is a reality. The enemy of the United States of America, it is not the migrants. It is not the mass migration. It is not that. I'm not defending and I'm not pandering. The enemy of the United States of America is within their own politicians, their own government, their own Congress, their own Senate, people like AOC, people like Gavin Newsom. They are destroying your country. They're the ones that they're destroying the policies. They're the ones that they're destroying every single city that is overrun, that it has an enormous violence increase, that it has a destabilization of economy, that it's increasingly growing on taxes. It is not nobody else. These people are coming because they're told them that it will be a better opportunity in life to get in. But when you don't have an orderly migration, a documented migration, a peaceful migration, a secure migration, you will have these kind of consequences. You will have these kind of attitudes. You will have these kind of situations. Why they're not creating a filter? Why these NGOs have the power over the immigration law? A filter is always going to be. They need to know who's like it has to be there. Why there's no filter? Why there's not a filter on every border? Why? You have a lot of children that they're coming in with non-parents. The uncle, the supposed godfather. A lot of adults that they're coming in with children that they're not their children. Why is that not a concern? When did that topic become a second-class topic? The protection of children coming into the United States of America, the distribution of children that they're coming unaccompanied. When did that become a topic that is not relevant? A topic that is not, it's more important to talk about, situation and foreign policies. This is where migration has gotten to. It is being aggravated every day by the day. Now, I'm going to predict something, and I am taking away this image right now. I'm going to give a prediction. And this is accurate. I'm married an immigrant. The process is costly and lengthy. If you're a critical thinker, attorneys, I'm sorry about my accent, will take all your money. That, yes, it is believable. There needs to find a pathway, a better pathway for people to just be in the process. But this is the situation. Um, every country has a process for migration. Even I want to tell you something. To become a Mexican national, it is much difficult than the U.S. To become a resident of Mexico, it is way more difficult than in the U.S. Even in Panama, I will tell you, in Panama, for me to enter Panama, it's difficult. For me to enter Panama, the Panamanian laws, if you're entering through a port of entry like we enter all the time, when let me just explain to you how the process is when we're traveling to Panama, or it was much easier to travel to Europe, to enter Ukraine, to enter Poland, to enter France, to enter which one is it? Belgium. It was much easier than to enter Panama or Mexico. Now, let me tell you how it is in Panama. If you're coming to a visit, so they tell you tourist or business first and foremost. So you have to fill up a form. That form is before you go out. That is the multiple migration form for you to travel out of Mexico. That is for the Mexican authorities. And you put the date that you're living and you put the date that you're coming back. So in some cases, you have to buy the ticket coming back. So it's not like, I don't know when am I gonna come back. You got a 30-day opportunity to get into a country, a foreign country in Latin America, like Panama, but I don't know when I'm coming back. No, there's no that. You have to buy the ticket, a one-way, a complete ticket, going back and forth. So they check when are you leaving and when are you coming back. So when you arrive to Panama, they make you fill out a paperwork of all your information: passport, number, ID, parents, number, phone number, where do you live, what city, how much days, where you're staying at, who you're staying at with, who are your friends. So when you come into that port of entry, there's nationals, residents, and there's foreigners. So I go to the foreigner line, long line. Every time that I get to Panama, I stay in the beautiful country of Panama. I stay in that line for almost an hour and 30 minutes to be processed and to enter. When I get to the toll booth where the immigration official, I get questioned. Why are you entering? Why is the purpose? Why are you working? Show me your IDs. Show me your credentials. Show me the credentials of a journalist. Show me the network. Who are you with? Where are you staying at? How many days? How many days are you traveling? Who are you traveling to? Where's the car? The number of the plates of the car, the name of the person, the identification of the person, everything they know. So for every country, there's a process. In Mexico, it's exactly the same thing. Sadly, in other countries, it takes a lot of time for you to enter, but it's the process. It is a process. I'm just explaining the situation in Panama. In Panama, not in the United States, in Panama. So I wanted to give you guys a prediction of what I think that is going to happen. So this is the thing that I see. There's the Republican and the Democrat run. I'm going to get just a little bit political right here. And I don't want to be questioned about it because I don't want to be answering back and forth situations. But If I can answer a question respectfully, I will answer it. This is what I think that is going to happen, and sadly, this is what I believe that it's going to happen. And sadly, this is my prediction. So you have an exacerbated amount of people inside of the United States that they're undocumented. A lot of them they haven't returned to court, and a lot of them they're not returning to the court date. Why? Because they're afraid that their case is not going to be accepted, and they prefer to be undocumented and irregular in the United States of America. A lot of people are putting in the comments, use the term illegal, use the term this, use the term that, use this terms. I don't use those terms. I'm sorry. I use the terms that I believe, and I use my terms. If you want to use your terms, that is your freedom of speech. That is your freedom of belief. It's not that we don't agree or disagree. We're just, we're just continuously sharing our thoughts. So this is what I believe in. So you have an exacerbated amount of people right now in the United States of America. Elections are coming. Already the person that is letting people in irregularly and is risking people's lives is Joe Biden. But whether you like it or not, in the mind of a migrant, they're getting into the United States of America. So they're getting an opportunity under the Biden administration, which a lot of the migrants that they're coming in, they don't want communism. They're running away from communism and socialism. They're running away from poverty and insecurities. They're running away from violence. And ultimately, because of that, they're entering the United States. But when they enter the United States, they don't know that the Democratic Party, it's the one that is in particular, the one that is basically bringing this ideology of communism and socialism. And they don't know that. What they know is they're getting an opportunity to go in. What they don't know is the opposition, what they're doing. The sad thing about it is that all of this, at one point, it is going to, at one point, the United States is going to say enough is enough. We cannot take this anymore. Even I have talked to journalists that they're from the far left, and they have said, I don't know how this is going to be handled. A lot of them, a majority, they have said, I don't know how this is going to be controlled. But let me tell you, so elections come. So you got Biden, and then you have on the Republican ballot, you got Trump, right? Already Trump has made a statement that he's saying if he gets into office, there's going to be a massive deportation, the largest in American history. He already put it out there. So the migrants already know that is going to happen if he wins. On the other hand, now Joe Biden knows how to strategically use that statement to counterattack Donald Trump. He's going to use it into his defense to say, look, this person does not like migrants, does not want migrants to get an opportunity in our country. This is a country built with migrants, and he's a racist, he's this, he's that. And he's going to use that pandering as a strategy. And ultimately, this is going to raise the radical progressives and the mercenary activists to start, again, rioting and looting. And ultimately, not only that, to start protesting continuously against ICE, against DHS, against Border Patrol, against this, against the wall. They're going to bring again the wall. When a Biden wall is being built right now in Imperial Beach, California, and it is his wall, not the past President Trump. It is his wall that he's building, a wall in the parts of Tijuana and Playas de Tijuana that he just completely destroyed an international park that has been there for decades. But this is what I believe that is going to happen. Now, Joe Biden is going to be whatever he has of a brain left, smart about it, and he's going to use that to counterattack Trump. Now, what is going to happen after that? If Joe Biden wins, hypothetical, God forbid, because he's incompetent. Whoever comes into office, I'm just saying, completely incompetent president right now. But hypothetical example. Hypothetical. If Joe Biden wins, the mass migration is going to continue. And there's going to be a point where the United States, it is not going to be able to take it anymore. Like right now, possibly. But it's going to take, it's going to be a point that the United States is not going to be able to take this anymore. The border towns, the cities, they're going to be completely affected by mass migration and people not getting, admitted immediately, and there's going to cause chaos on the other side of the border, like Mexico and towns and in Panama, and the Darien Gap is going to continue. Humanitarian business is going to continue. Not only that, but if Donald Trump wins, they're going to come, I believe, massively in the last moments of the Biden administration. And they're going to try to enter. Now, what do you think is going to happen? I'm just going to give you an explanation. And I'm just going to tell you this. So you have a lot of the migrants, which are good migrants. I have walked with a lot of them. They're good people. I've seen bad people also, but I've seen good people. What do you think they're going? Whose side do you think they're going to choose? If they're going to say you're going to get returned back because you entered this way, and your process is not going to be this way, or you can stay, but you have to go to these meetings and to these marches, and you had to protest, and you had to follow the mercenary activists and the NGOs and the Black Lives Matters and the Antifas. And you have to follow those people because those people are the ones that they're protesting against the Republicans, the racists, the white supremacists, the xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoun-phobic, fat-phobic, racist, fascist, bigot, white supremacist, imperialist, conspiracy, creating the fear mongers and the creating hysterias. Who do you think they're going to choose? So already you can see the strategy of the Democratic Party. It is not about helping the migrants. It's not about humanity, in my own perception. It's about using the migrants for their own political gain, weaponizing the migration. You're trying to look and you're trying to put that perspective to say to the world, oh, we're humanitarian, oh, we're this, oh, we're that, oh, we're helping. I just shown you a video. This is your humanitarian. Children suffering in the middle of the Darien Gap with their mother. This is your process. No United Nations, no OIM, no international organization. It's stopping these people, these people that they're suffering from suffering. They're not stopping the suffering. They're continuously making a profit out of it. The cartels on the other side of Colombia making a profit and pushing. Meanwhile, children and the mothers and all these people are suffering. But politically, the Biden administration, it is making a profit out of this, and they know that they can use this to stay in control by using the suffering, by using the racism, by using the denigration of, the Republicans are against the migrants, the Republicans are racist, the Republicans are denigrating migrants, the Republicans are this, the Republicans are that. I'm not a Republican. I can't be a Republican. I'm a Mexican. But I'm just saying my perception, the way the strategy, the way that you're doing it. Because it's obvious the way that it looks. Because if you were for all humanity, you will stop this madness. And you will create a pathway which it will help migrants to not suffer, to get an opportunity, to create a pathway with a work visa or something that it can be legitimately a process for people to understand, oh, okay, so we need migrants, we need work labor, but also we need to increase our labor over here for Americans also. So it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. Okay, we need, okay, we need to expand. Ah, la, la, la. A process. But instead of that, you're living out of this. And you're using this. You use this suffering of the children for your political gain. Because everybody that stands against the leftist progressive ideologies, it is a racist, it is a fascist, it is a narcissist, it is a bigot, it is a fearmonger, it's creating hysteria, it is a white supremacist, a white imperialist, a xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronounphobic, fatphobic, all of the phobias. You're the worst of the scum if you're not with the progressives, if you're not agreeing with them. Me, a brown Mexican, I have been attacked by these mercenary activists continuously, by these NGOs. Oh no, he's a Trumper. He's a Republican. He works for a right-wing media. What is your leftist media doing? What are they doing? Are they saying the reality of this? Are they putting this on their screens and saying this is what the Biden administration is causing, these open border policies? Let's not even say open border policies. Let me rephrase to you so I can pander to your leftist disgusting ideas. Let me just rephrase. This is what Joe Biden right now with the policies of immigration that you're going to blame, because this is what they say. It's because of the Bass administration, the Trump administration. Get the hell out of here, you leftists. Do you know who was the president that deported more Mexicans and Latinos in history and separated more families in history of the United States of America? Who weaponized the cartels with their operation of Fast and the Furious in our country and destroy our security? Do you know who? Who put children in cages and deported them back to cartels without giving them properly to their parents? Who brought the global compact into the continent of America, aligning with Peña Nieto? Who did it? Who was the president back then? Shut up. No justification. The most racist president, it is this one, Obama. He didn't like migrants. He made completely statements continuously about a wall and a wall and a wall, and we're going to put it a wall, and we're going to deport, and we're going to create detention centers. On the terms of Obama, just ask yourself, to all these progressives, how many private prisons were built? Ask yourself this question. How many private prisons for deportation were built? How many? When are you going to stop profiting out of DACA? When? When are you going to start profiting out of DACA? Are you going to create one day a solution for that or not? Are you still going to be profiting out of this monthly payment? Continuous. Again, this is your humane journey. When Alejandro Mayorkas goes to the Darien Gap, this is you. Do you know when Alejandro Mayorkas goes to the Darien Gap, what he does? That he goes to the Darien. There is a part that is called Meteti that is 3 hours away from the city of Panama. There is a military station from Centerfront that is an hour away from entering Lajas Blancas. There is a migrant camp that is 3 hours away on Piragua boat into Bajo Chiquito. that is outside of the Darien, that Bajo Chiquito, it is 1 hour and 30 minutes walking into what is the real jungle. Look how far he is at. So what Mayorkas does when he goes to Panama, he lands on the military station with his chopper, and he makes it look like, I'm here. I'm a badass, man. I just arrived here. I'm here to fix the crisis. I'm here to fix the problem. Oh my God, it's not a crisis. It's a challenge. I'm here to fix the challenge. He lands there. He shakes the hand of everybody. Sir. Let's go to a meeting. He goes to the meeting, takes a couple of pictures. He flies again to the Darien Gap with his chopper, and he leaves. Do they go to the epicenters of these problems? Does he ever walk in Lajas Blancas? Does he ever walk in Bajo Chiquito? Does he ever put up a backpack and says, I'm going to the epicenter in Caña Blanca? I'm going to the other side in Necoclí in Colombia to see how they're entering through these parts like Acandí, Capurganá, massively. Does he go over there to see the suffering of? Has he ever seen a person suffering inside of the Darien? But no, they go over there and they make this photo op. Those are their policies. This is my prediction of what is actually going to happen. Sadly, the ones that are being used, in my own perception, a lot of people are going to be completely the opposite. I understand your freedom of speech, your freedom of thought. Completely understand. We agree to disagree, and we can argue and not argue. But it's the most beautiful thing about freedom. You know, freedom is freedom. And, you know, it's one of the things that basically it is going to help us to understand each other. So I wanted to tell you something. Sadly, I see the United States right now having a really tough election. Before I go, 1 hour and 2 minutes, I'm going in. 1 hour and 2 minutes. There's a troll right here completely trying to harass the live feed. Since I started talking, there's a troll right here completely harassing. And I understand that you're mad, because if I sit down with these leftists or these extreme, you know, whatever you want to call it, extremist, if I sit down with them and I try to debate them and talk with them, if I don't agree with them, they will say, oh, you're a leftist, you're a communist. And when you sit down with a leftist, they will say, oh, you're extreme right-winger, you're a white supremacist. So what is my whole deal with me trying to have a conversation with you? And if you're here to listen. If not, you can go. But let me just tell you something. What I believe is that the United States is going to have a really tough election. Before I go, 1 hour and 3 minutes. Sorry to my manager that's, you know, still here dealing with my nonsense. But what I believe is that the United States is going to have a really tough election. Really tough election. And now more than ever, the youth of the United States of America is completely misguided. And that is the number one situation right now. You have a lot of people now, you know, rallying and going out there and putting God, you know, rallying for Jesus and all this kind of stuff. But also you have the radical left that is, you know, progressively, you know, protesting and continuously, you know, making rallies of LGBTQ plus and all this kind of stuff. I don't have no problem with nobody else. I don't want to get into the gender thing. Really, I don't want to get into it. It's your body, whatever you want to do with it, but just don't rub it into my child. But I will just tell you, it's going to be really difficult because the youth right now in the United States of America is completely misguided. I don't want to say the word lost. They're misguided. Teachers in the universities and schools, I saw a video that I shared in my Instagram, in my stories, of a teacher in a college that there was a guy preaching outside in the street with a microphone about Jesus. And this woman, a teacher, a college teacher, went up to this man and said, I just had an abortion. I was really happy about it. They got into my uterus, they ripped it all out, and they took it apart, and they said this and this and that. And she was all up in this guy's face. And the guy says, you don't believe in God? It's like, no, I don't. And la la this, la la that. And this is a teacher. And not only that, the guy says, I'm going to pray for you. Let me just pray for you. And she started taking the microphone out of this guy, the cord. And it's like, give me my microphone back. And she's like, no, no. She was completely aggravated and mad. Then officials, police officers got in there and they said, if you don't let go of the man's microphone, we are going to arrest you. And she did not let go of the microphone. So this is where the youth is going to. This is the teachers that this new youth has in their classrooms. Imagine if I was an alumni of this teacher in this college. And if I said, I'm against this, I don't agree with you, teacher. I'm against this. Do you think that teacher will have the patience to say, that is your freedom of thought? I believe you. Let's focus on what we came to learn: social studies, English, math, chemistry, whatever. Do you think that she will have the knowledge and the patience to say, it's okay, sit down, John? No, she will not. It is their way or there's no other way. This is why the other day, these leftists, progressives, I had a lot of them on a show that I was doing in Spanish, and a lot of them, I was calling them the imperialistic left. They start getting triggered when you call them like that because they are imperialistic leftists. It is their way or there's no other way. And if there's no other way, you will be labeled as the language barrier of defense that I just told you. Xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoun-phobic, fat-phobic, white supremacist, white imperialist, racist, fascist, bigot, creating hysteria, fearmonger, conspiracy theories. All these language categories, you will be labeled on that. It's like a manual that you have when you open a box at Walmart and you're trying to put a furniture together. You go from number one and you go from phase one, phase two, phase three, phase four, and then you have that, beautiful library stand for you to put your books. It is exactly like that. It is like that. Oh, you don't agree with this? Oh, you're this. Or you don't agree with it? Oh, you're misogynist. Or you don't agree with this? You're this. Or you don't. This is the youth of the United States, sadly, right now. This is why I'm saying that this, it is going to be one of the toughest elections. Toughest elections. I believe that is going to be the toughest elections in the United States, possibly in history. And let's see where it goes. Whatever the decision, it's been taken. Let's see. As a Mexican, I can tell you that I'm a little bit concerned of what the elections can turn out to be, because all, the collateral effects that the United States has, we have on our side in Mexico. The complications of the decisions of the United States, but they land in our country of Mexico. So Mexico is the one that takes the punches for whatever decision, if it is positive or negative for the United States, but we take it. Let's see our elections, how they go. Mexican elections. We have two women running for president and Eduardo Verástegui running for president also. Now, a lot of people have asked me, how do I feel about Eduardo Verástegui running for president? He's a great guy. I met him. I interviewed him. He's all against child trafficking and security of the children, for God's values, conservative values. He's a changed man. He was radical man when he was young and dumb like everybody else. Like, we made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And, he changed his life. He's a great, great man. He has a lot of people against him. And I believe that running as an independent, Mexico, it is not ready for that. Mexico is so accustomed to a political party. And now the political party that is the one that everybody's in favor is the leftist political party under Manuel López Obrador. that for once they have a political candidate as a woman, that I believe that she's the worst decision for Mexico. That her name is Claudia Sheinbaum. I don't believe that she's the right decision for our country. Really, she's not. She's a radical, progressive leftist, and the country's going to be led to a disaster if she gets elected for presidency. And the other one, it is also I don't think that she has the capacity. Xochitl Galvez, the right wing political party, she doesn't have the capacities. Also, she doesn't look well prepared. Also, she's not. I don't believe that she's right. And you have the independent that is Eduardo Verástegui. That he's intelligent. He's a conservative, but it's really difficult for him to move up to that plate. The one that we had in mind was Marcel Ebrard. That he was the one that particularly was more intelligent out of all, and that he has been the head chief of international relations for the past president of for the current president Andrés Manuel López Obrador. He has been there for 6 years, so we believe that he was the one. But the political party of Morena did not choose him. They choose this radical progressive lady. That I do not have nothing against a woman president, Mexican woman president coming into office, but I don't believe that they are well prepared to move fast forward to move the country. I really do not feel that they're well prepared. I'm just being honest, and it is not being a misogynist. No es un ser machista. It's not that. It's just That is what I'm continually saying. Jorge Ramos said the other day, Mexico was a machista country. It's a man's country, and it's a woman's country also. In Mexico, we still have the values to respect a woman and give her, the respect that she deserves. These Jorge Ramos, I don't know what changed him. He was a great journalist before. I respected him so much, and now looks like a progressive. And sadly, it's ideas. I don't share them. But in terms to what is the elections, this is going to be extremely difficult. The elections for Mexico and the United States are going to be extremely difficult. And also another elections that I want you to be putting attention to are the elections in Venezuela. That is another elections that they are going to be extremely critical to see if Maduro is going to remain in power. And if he's going to remain in power, how is this going to plan out? Because the way that it's looking at, and I have talked to people from Venezuela and people from journalists from Venezuela, the way that it's looking at right now is that Maduro is pushing so much, pushing his people out, and continuously coming out that the criminal sanctions, that is going to be a point that the United States is going to say, you know what, all right, you don't want the sanctions, there you go, but you are giving the whole power to this dictator, and he's never going to leave power. If I had Venezuelans right here in my live feed, I will ask them the same question that I have asked them. Lastly, I will say this comment. I have asked them in Spanish. If the criminal sanctions were they were completely disappeared, do you think that Maduro will leave power? And every single Venezuelan has told me, no, he was not going to leave power. That will be the worst decision that the United States can do. Release the sanctions and give all the power to this dictator. That will be the worst decision. I'm not saying the United States is the one that takes the decisions on that country. The only thing that I can say is that Maduro is not the right person to run that beautiful, prosperous country. That country that used to be the leader on a continent. A leader. Those people, when in the past, before 1996, when Chavez collapsed the economy, when did you saw caravans of Venezuelans running out of their country? They didn't have the necessity. Do you know what was the percentage of entities of tourism inside of Venezuela? Venezuelans themselves. They were the providers of their own economy. The most tourists that Venezuela had were Venezuelans. They didn't want to go out. They had the best beaches. They had the best places. Had the best mountains. They had everything. So this, for me, these three elections are going to be extremely important. Watch out what the left is going to do in the far future of these elections, how they're going to use the vulnerabilities and the suffering of the migrants for their own political gain. They're going to do it. They are. And really, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Meanwhile, people are suffering, like I just shown you lastly on this video. Meanwhile, people are suffering in the Darien. People are going through a horrible nightmare. But you see all these politicians, doesn't even matter if they're right or left, these rhinos also. Some Republicans that are not doing anything about it. Anything. Abbott, that he was putting these goofballs, that he spent almost $70 quadrillion. How is that going, by the way, to all Texans? I want to ask this question before I go away. I got a cup from Panama, by the way. It's beautiful. But I wanted to ask this last question. So how does that going, by the way? How is that going? The plastic balls that he put on the middle of the Rio Grande River to stop the migrants. How did that go, by the way? Where is all your tax money going to? How does that tax money, is it refundable? I'm just throwing something out there. Are you going to get refunded for that? Didn't I told you that was one of the most incompetent things that you can ever do? Why not have a conversation with the governor of Nuevo León, Monterrey, and the governor of Chihuahua? Sit down, the three of you, like men, close the door. You don't want no international press. You don't want nobody in that room. Yes, the three of you sitting down like men and talking to each other and looking at each other's eyes and say, how we're going to fix this problem. Just say, God bless you all. Stay safe. Follow me at all platforms. Like to promote Real America's Voice News right here, our network. Also, every trip that we take from now on, Real America's Voice News, it is being sponsored by Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile, the best mobile company in the United States of America. If you guys want to get better service, better signal, and ultimately a better, quality of phone calls and internet, Patriot Mobile, it is the place. So go right now to patriotmobile.com. Also, satellite phone. Patriot Mobile, promo code RAB, RAB, promo code RAB. And also, what the hell? I don't remember the satellite phone. Ben, if you're listening, I'm sorry. You always tell me the companies, but I forget, brother. So the satellite phone, SAT, promo code RAB. Also, I believe so. Satellite phones. You always need a good satellite phone when you're out of signal. So, God bless you all. Thank you so much. Follow Real America's Voice News. Follow my all my brothers that they're broadcasting on the border. Give a quick shout out today to Alden Cabello. Alden Cabello is doing a magnificent job at the border in Piedras Negras. So, Alden, paisano, si me estás escuchando, está haciendo un excelente trabajo. Felicidades, mi hermano. Alden Cabello, follow Alden Cabello. Also, Marlene Guzman, also in the parts of Piedras Negras. She's also a journalist from Univision. She's doing a great job over there also. Broadcasting, covering the border, getting on the train, getting on top of the train. I love when they get dirty, man. That's the real journalism, man. That's the journalism that we miss. Not just putting a boots on and just standing with lights all over the place and be like, we just have some drone footage. Get the hell out. Walk, man. Get dirty. Sweat. Like that's good journalism, man. So, great shout out to Marlene Guzman. You're doing a magnificent and great job. Out in Cabello over there in Piedras Negras, Coahuila. And to all of you that you're covering the border, thank you so much. God bless you guys. Now we're in 20. I extended it too much, but I just wanted to just give you guys all of this all of this information for every single one of you. Thank you, and thank you. By the way, we got a surprise coming up on Saturday, and I would like to thank everybody for supporting me along the way. Give a quick shout out to everybody that has been supporting me undeniably, and I'm without no expectation whatsoever. On we I have repeatedly said so, but we won an award for the documentary of the Darien and our coverages in the Darien in a festival in Bogota. So I'm extremely happy for that. I'm extremely excited and appreciative of all of my audience and migrant audience also that they have supported us of covering this migrant issue with the delicacy that it is, and also with ultimately with the sensitivity that it needs to be handled with. There's no pandering over here. There's no victimization, and we know what the real issues are, and that's what we bring to your screen. For these people that they are always against what we do, but you're still here. So yeah, I pray for you, man. I pray for all of you. For one day you will open your eyes and understand the real situation. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Thank you so much for your undeniable support. We'll see each other next time. And always remember, God's plan is our mission. Thank you so much.